Today, I'm going to explain why even after finishing your nutrition certification, you may not feel ready to take the next step and start your business. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what you need to focus on to actually coach nutrition clients and get them great results, create a streamlined coaching system so you can take on more clients, and make social media content that actually lands paying clients. So you've spent the time and energy getting your nutrition certification. Now I'm going to show you what to do with it. There's three main areas where your nutrition certification really fails you. The first one is this application piece. A lot of certifications, they sell you on this idea that they're going to give you a career and you're going to be able to change lives. And they essentially send you a textbook that turns into an expensive coaster that you need to read through on your own. And it gives you, most of them are well done in terms of the scientific knowledge is correct, but they don't really teach you how to apply that to help others. What's the context? What do I actually do? What do I suggest? What does that look like? So they don't do that. As well as most of the times, so dry, it can't be applied. It isn't practical. It doesn't take the actual science of nutrition and deliver it in a way that you can use it to coach people, which is essentially what we're trying to do, right? Coaching isn't teaching someone everything there is to know about nutrition. It's giving them exactly what they need in that moment to get to the next level. And that's really what we want to focus on if we're trying to work with others and help others and focus on that way. And that is if you even get through the textbook. They essentially want you to memorize a bunch of knowledge, regurgitate it out on an exam so that you can, show that you have a competent level of knowledge, when in reality, that's not going to set you up to coach people. And it all comes down to being able to apply what you know. It may mean knowing less and focusing on less so that you can create a system that you're able to apply to a client. And a lot of times on an objective basis, that means getting clients tracking and teaching them how to eat as opposed to telling them how to eat. That's what's going to get them to buy into the behaviors that are going to allow them to make change over months and years and get long-lasting results. And it all comes down to teaching them, how to eat. And we need a structure to do that. And the next thing that, most nutrition certifications just completely overlook, they don't touch on, is this coaching system piece. How do I actually work with someone? I have all this knowledge now. What does that actually look like? 99% of you following this, watching this, should be doing some sort of weekly check-in with the client. And what that looks like is having predetermined questions that a client needs to answer on a weekly basis. They can be the same questions every week, but they need to give you that feedback in a structured way. It can't be just randomly through Messenger. It can't just be half the time this stuff, half the time that stuff. You want to follow up on specific things in terms of how they're feeling. Are there any biometric changes in terms of their energy levels and hunger and how their clothes are fitting and that type of thing, as well as, we collect some, subjective information around what they felt went well, what needs improvement, what were some of the wins for the week, how are things changing for them, as well as, what they need to work on so that we can give them specific feedback, not everything they could do, but specifically what they should focus on within the structure of what we're doing to allow them to get to the next level. And it's not going to be everything possible. It's going to be specific things. And the more narrow you can focus their attention to the things that are the low-hanging fruit that are going to allow them to get better, the better results they're going to get. And it's not about, you could focus on this, you could focus on that. It's being prescriptive and telling them exactly what they need to do, getting them buying into that within this structure. So that weekly coaching structure is very important, and setting that check-in so they know exactly where to access this stuff, what it looks like, some expectations around when they should submit it by, what happens if they don't submit it on time. You need all that stuff baked in to deliver a professional coaching service. So we want to focus on that stuff. And most nutrition certs just aren't showing you how to do that. And they're definitely not giving you an opportunity to practice that stuff, would be the next thing. So it's one thing just to work through some case studies around what this could look like. But what happens when you actually have someone in front of you, and I don't mean in a live sense, because you shouldn't be doing counseling-based sessions either, because that's not scalable, it's not effective, and it's not what our clients want. But when someone is in front of you giving you information And how do you actually respond to it? Sometimes you just need the words, and a lot of times you just need the practice of working through that stuff. How do I respond? Going through, here's what I'm seeing. This is what needs to change. This is what you did well. This is what needs to be improved on. This is the thing that what I focus on, and delivering that all in a streamlined and effective way. We do that through the hybrid check-in process, which is a combination of video-based response as well as an email trail. And when you can do that, it's a process that takes you 5 to 10 minutes, and it shouldn't take you any longer than that. It doesn't need to be an hour-long counseling session where someone's just kind of spilling their guts and telling you everything about their week that could be important. No, we need to get specific around that. So focusing on that and developing a coaching system is important. And the last thing is, and I know no one else is teaching this stuff because it is the hardest thing to teach, which is how to get clients. The most important thing. If you don't have clients, you unfortunately don't have a business. You have an expensive hobby that takes most of your time. You need to focus on the right strategies and how to create social media content, how to show up so that you can get people raising their hand around they want this service. This service is important to them. You are able to deliver a result that they want. And that's just more or less marketing your coaching, which is completely overlooked and the most important thing. You got to try this stuff out, and you got to do it in a way that's authentic to you, that actually works, because the last thing you want, you don't want to end up just creating social media content that no one sees and becoming a pseudo influencer where it doesn't work, right? Or even, conversely, like you could be doing a good job and consistent and all those things, but you're just educating people. And sometimes it's not the right people in terms of the people that will actually pay for your service. And no one actually really wants that thing. So we want to attract it in a way that we have a step-by-step system where it takes people through the process of they're now curious about these things because they see what's in it for them. They see how you can help. They see how you can deliver that type of service. And then from there, it takes them from curious to paying because you've shown and demonstrated the value around what you do and how you solve specific problems. And if you can do that, you'll land clients. And it's one of those things where this doesn't need to be overly complicated, but you do need to clearly articulate that you know how to solve the problems people have. A lot of times this stuff is just way too knowledge and educational based. It doesn't focus on the struggles that people have and, what are the barriers getting in their way? What do they want? What life would look like if things change positively for them and what they're able to do now. When you can tell that story convincingly, you'll be able to get clients. So those are the three main things that like conventional nutrition certifications overlook. The most popular ones do. The most established ones, the biggest ones in our industry, consistently overlook how to apply this stuff, how to apply your knowledge of nutrition to get clients results. They also consistently overlook, okay, maybe you have a client, but how do you coach them in the same way in a repeatable process so that everything's organized and streamlined and professional. It's not all over the place. It's not now I have 3 clients and it's taking me the entire week, when in reality, working with 10 clients should be something that you can do in a day, 3 hours within the day. But you can't do that unless things are organized, as well as how do we actually get clients? Because at the beginning, it's great to get clients from your social circle, but at a certain point, you're going to want to get clients that you don't necessarily know. And that all comes down to telling a convincing story on social media around how you help so that others see what's in it for them. That's what most nutrition certifications overlook, and that's why they failed so many of you. And if you guys are in this situation, I totally understand. It's not something that, can't be overcome. It totally is. You just got to view things in a different way and pick up some skills along the way to fill in some of the gaps that you may have missed. And it all comes down to application. It comes down to how to actually coach people and practicing that process, as well as putting myself out there on social media so that I can land new paying clients. Now, if that all sounds good, and you guys, if you still have questions, by all means ask. That's what I'm here for. But those are the main ways that your nutrition certification fails you. Got one comment here: excellent info on professional coaching. Practice is crucial. Absolutely. It's one thing to have an idea of what you would do, but a lot of times the most powerful thing you can do is just practice it. I can't tell you how many times we've had students in our program. The main benefit they derive from it is just getting the words to be able to say these things, hearing it from others, hearing how to approach situations because they never would have dreamed it up in terms of it coming up, but it does come up. And sometimes you just need the words to be able to say those things. That all comes through practice and repetition and putting yourself out there. Other than that, keep in mind our enrollment for Dr. Mark Method. There'll be spots coming available in the next few weeks. If that sounds something you want to know a little bit more about, send me a message and I will get over the details to get you on the wait list where you can learn a little bit more about the program and if it's a good fit, and we'll be going from there. Other than that, take care, guys. Let me know if there's anything else. If you're rewatching the replay and you have any questions here, by all means, drop it in the comments and I will get it over to you. Now, as great as all those tips are, if you're really serious about starting a nutrition coaching business, the next thing I'll have you do is check out this video I've linked up right here. Let me show you exactly what a nutrition coach making 6 figures a year does in a day. So make sure to check it out now, and I'll see you in the next video.